welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa. If you love books, come on in. Let's talk. First, go get your smoothie. I have a blueberry heaven here from Smoothie King. All my smoothies won't always come from Smoothie King, but this one does today. Let's take a sip. Let's talk books. Okay, so I went to Barnes and Noble, and I have here's my haul. So I have Wellfall by Elizabeth O'Connor, and I'll be reading this with a friend of mine. This is a buddy read, so she and I are meeting soon to discuss this book. So excited. Then we have, now I know you all read this last year, but this is Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. I walked into Barnes and Noble. There it was. I want to read it. We have The Immortalist. So they had buy one, get one half off. So I didn't go in here to get these books, but I couldn't resist. I went to pick up Wellfall because I had it on hold, and then I just decided to splurge. I had some gift cards that I hadn't used, and so I just decided to go ahead and spend my gift cards. So I have The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin, and then I am most excited to read The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. So I just wanted to show you the books first. I'm going to read the blurb, but I wanted you to see what each of them were first in case you just wanted to pop into the video and pop right back out. So that was my Barnes & Noble book haul. Let's talk about each one of these books. So this is Wellfall, and let me read the blurb to you. Wellfall, it is a stunning debut novel from an award-winning writer about loss, yearning, and the dissonance and exhilaration of discovering oneself by pushing the boundaries of family and community. In 1938, a dead whale washes on the shore of a remote island in the coast of Wales. For 18-year-old Manad, I guess you say her name is Manad, who has never left the island, it feels like both an ominous portent and a symbol of what may lie beyond the island shores. Living with her father and her sister, to whom she has reluctantly but devotedly become a mother figure following the death of their own mother, Manad can't shake her growing desire to explore life beyond the beautiful and blisteringly harsh islands that her hard-scrabble family has called home for generations. The unexpected arrival of two English ethnographers who hope to study the island culture throws the isolated community into turmoil. But to Manad, they offer both a glimpse of life in the outside world and a possible means of escape. The longer they stay, the more she feels herself pulled towards them, reckoning with an intellectual and sensual awakening that her community is being misconstrued and exoticized. In exquisite prose cut with sharp wit, Wellfall tells the story of what happens when one person's desires threaten the fabric of society and what can happen when they are realized. O'Connor paints a portrait of community and a woman on the precipice, forced to confront an outside world that seems to be closing in on them. So my buddy, who I read this with, she chose this book, which is why I'm reading it. And one of my whys for wanting to read the book, I love drama, and so I always like to get inside I like to explore family dynamics. I like to see communities, and so if this young lady has been stuck on an island, well, her whole life, if that's what her life is about. I want to read her journey. Is she going to escape the island? Is it going to be that she strengthens her love for her island, especially she sees that somebody's coming in and they're trying to manipulate the people, or it's trying to as it says, exoticize the people. So will she defend her people? And will I learn more about her culture? What is it like for a culture of people who spent their entire life on an island? So that's my why for wanting to read this book. All right, so let's take a look at The Measure, all right, by Nikki Ehrlich. And I see here, this was a Read with Jenna show book club pick. So I'd have to go back and see. I'm not sure when this was. I like Read with Jenna books, and you'll see a lot of that on this channel. I will do Read with Jenna books. I'll do the Oprah Book Club books. So I do New York Times bestseller books. I like to look at Book Page. I'll have a separate video. I actually like to look at Book Page and explore books from Book Page that I may want to read. But let's take a look at the blurb here. A story of love and hope. As interweaving characters display how all moments, big and small, can measure a life. If you want joy, love, romance, and hope, read with us. And that's what Jenna Bush said. All right. It seems like any other day. You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and head out. But today, when you open the front door, waiting for you is a small wooden box. Ooh. This box holds your fate inside, the answer to the exact number of years you will live. That's good. Okay. Would you want to read? Would you want to know how many years you want to live? Oh my gosh. Okay. From suburban doorsteps to desert tents, every person on every continent receives the same box. In an instant, the world is thrust into a collective frenzy. So some people decide whether or not they want to find out how many years they will live. Some don't. Okay. As society comes together and pulls apart, everyone faces the same shocking choice. Do they wish to know how long they'll live? What about you? Would you want to know? I wouldn't want to know. I don't think I would want to know. No. But that's something we can talk about. Let's get ready to talk about it. And if so, what would they do with the knowledge? The measure charts the dawn of this new world through an unforgettable cast of characters whose decisions and fates interweaves with one another. Best friends whose dreams are forever entwined. Pen pals finding refuge in the unknown, a couple who thought they didn't have to rush, a doctor who cannot save himself, and a politician whose box becomes the powder keg that ultimately changes everything. Enchanting and deeply uplifting, The Measure is a sweeping, ambitious, and invigorating story about family, friendship, hope, and destiny that encourages us to live life to the fullest. So, of course, I'm reading this book to find out what other people do, how does that actually measure up against what I would choose to do. So it's interesting. So it's really interesting on that. So I'm trying to move back on my book budget, right? And I have Clorox wipes because I'm a germaphobe and I just have to wipe library books off. So anyway, there are several books I'm hearing about at the, online that I want to read. And so what I do is I go to the library because I have my own little library. I'll show y'all that later at home. But I just some books I like to check out from the library before I buy them to see if I want to buy them. So let's see. Here are the 3 books I checked out from my local library. The Neighbor Favor. This is out of my league. I don't read romances, but so many people are talking about this book, so I want to give it a read. And I have One of Our Kind, Nicola Yoon. And then we have Just the Nicest Couple. So again, if you want to exit out of the video, you can. I'm about to read the blurb and tell you why I have chosen to read these books. Okay, so let's start with Just the Nicest Couple by Mary, I don't know how to say her name, Mary Kubica. I know that is wrong. Anyway, the new high-octane, edge-of-your-seat thriller from the queen of suspense, Mary Kubica. I guess Kubica. Kubica doesn't sound right. I am going to find out how to say this, and I will correct it. They seem so nice. You never imagine what was going on behind closed doors. Jake Hayes is missing. This much is certain. At first, his wife, Nina, thinks he's blowing off steam at a friend's house after their heated fight the night before. But then a day goes by, 2 days, 5, and Jake is still nowhere to be found. Lily Scott, Nina's friend and coworker, thinks she may have been last to see Jake before he went missing. After Lily confesses everything to her husband, Christian, the two decide that nobody can find out what happened leading up to Jake's disappearance, especially not Nina. But Nina is out there looking for her husband and she won't stop until the truth is discovered. Okay, so I'm choosing to read this because it's a thriller. And I think I've read one thriller this year. One of Us Knows, and I forget the author, but I may put it on the screen or and I'll tell you a little bit about that. I just finished it yesterday. Well, actually this morning. But anyway, I like thrillers. Most of my thrillers are Stephen King, which I haven't read a Stephen King in a bit. I'm about to read the one about Billy Young, something I want to read that. But I'm reading this because I want to know what happened. I'm nosy. I want to explore the couple. I want to see the dynamic. What about the couple that knows he went missing? I don't think he's dead. I'm going to predict. I don't think the missing husband is dead. I think he may have run off. I don't know. But I want to know what happened. So that's why I've read this one. Let's take a look. One of our kind, Nicola Yoon. They say this is her first adult novel. So here's the blurb. Get Out meets The Stepford Wives in #1 New York Times bestseller author Nicola Yoon's first adult novel. A terrifying and provocative look at one woman's quest to build a perfect life for her family and what it means to be truly free in America. When Jasmine and King Williams moved their family to the planned Black utopia of Liberty, California, they hope to find a community of like-minded people, a place where their growing family can thrive. King settles in at once, embracing the Liberty ethos, including the Lux Wellness Center at the top of the hill, which is the heart of the community. But Jasmine struggles to find her place. She expected to meet fellow liberals and social justice activists striving for racial equality, but Liberty residents seem more focused on booking spa treatments and ignoring the world's troubles. Jasmine's only friend in the community are equally perplexed and frustrated by Liberty's outlook, a frustration that turns to dread when their loved ones start embracing the Liberty way of life. As Jasmine learns more about Liberty and its founders, she discovers a terrible secret, one that threatens to destroy her world in ways she never could have imagined. Chilling and captivating, one of our kind will have you hooked from the first page to the last. And then the neighbor favor. This is, all right, so I had to leave the park, but I'm here to finish talking about the neighbor favor. Let me read the blurb. Shy, bookish, and admittedly awkward, Lily Green has always felt inadequate compared to the rest of her accomplished family who strive for Black excellence. She dreams of becoming a children's book editor, but she's been frustratingly stuck in the nonfiction division for years without a promotion in sight. Lily finds escapism in her correspondence with her favorite fantasy author. And what begins as two lonely people connecting over email turns into a tentative friendship and possibly something else Lily won't let herself entertain until he ghosts her without a word. Months later, Lily is still crushed, but she's determined to get a hold of her life. Starting with finding a date to her sister's wedding, and the perfect person to help her is Nick Brown, her charming, attractive new neighbor, who she feels drawn to for reasons she can't explain. Obviously, he was the one she was corresponding with. But little does she know, Nick is an author, her favorite fantasy author. Nick, who has reasons for using a pen name and pushing people away, soon realizes that the beautiful, quiet girl from down the hall is the same Lily he fell in love with over email months ago. Unwilling to complicate things even more between them, he agrees to set her up with someone else. That's me putting the question on him. Though this simple favor between two neighbors is anything but, not when he can't get her off his mind. Okay. So that concludes my library haul. Again, the neighbor favor. Say that 5 times fast. Just the nicest couple and one of our kind. So, Thank you for watching this far into the video. I hope you enjoy the channel. I'm going to do a video of my of a first chapter response. So I'm going to read the first chapter and do a first chapter response. I'd like for you to hang out, read with me. I'll do read with me videos. I'll do all kind of challenge videos. I'm just excited to be in the book space. Reading is my heart. Books are my first love. And so thank you guys for coming along for the ride. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments. Let me know, since I'm new here in the booktube space, is there a book you'd like me to read and review? I'm looking forward to us hanging out, chit-chatting about books. Yay!